Above you see a screenshot of the oddest trading pair taken from the hourly time frame on the MetaTrader 4 trading platform. In the picture above you will see a lot of data and signs being displayed courtesy of the roadmap indicator for MT4. Please, I encourage you not to feel overwhelmed by what is being displayed by the roadmap indicator for MT4. I will expand on all the nitty-gritty facets of the roadmap indicator for MT4. Furthermore, I will demonstrate to you on a few avenues that you may embark on in case you would like to realize consistent profits with the use of the roadmap indicator for MT4. The roadmap indicator for MT4 is an indicator that is based on the Elliott wave principle, which has harmonic trading incorporated into it to help define entry, stop and exit levels for buying and selling trading opportunities. Trading via the Elliott wave principle is labor intensive because you have to correctly count the swing high and swing low sequences, which is governed by a set of trading rules. Not to mention that you also need to be aware of the different Fibonacci levels that the Elliott wave strategy is based on, which is all dependent on your set rules which you go about trading the Elliott wave principle. But in this day and age it is not really necessary to overexert yourself like that, because there are wonderful indicators such as the roadmap indicator for MT4 to make your life easier when it comes to Elliott wave analysis and trading. This is because the roadmap indicator for MT4 unburdens traders from needing to mock up their charts for Elliott wave sequences. The roadmap indicator for MT4 automatically displays the Elliott wave data for you. Having that edge in the financial markets affords you the opportunity to solely focus on getting your entries right. That is worth gold to me. However, traders are not heavily focused on trading using the Elliott wave principle. That is simply because of the work that goes into it, but that's not a problem anymore thanks to the roadmap indicator for MT4. As its name suggests, it is there to provide signage and a roadmap for trading based on the Elliott wave principle. I shall commence by just clarifying to you what Elliott wave trading is and how does it function. It is a great trading resource to have in your trading arsenal, so do read on further. Elliott wave unpack. The Elliott wave theory is essentially based on a periodic sequence of two waves known as impulse waves and corrective waves. For instance, in a downtrend, the impulse wave will be a swing to the downside, with the corrective wave being the upward retracement waves. Whereas in an uptrend, the impulse waves are all the upswing moves and the retracement moves to the downside are known as corrective waves. The idea is to open buying and trades on these corrective waves where there is enough evidence that the corrective wave has ran out of steam. What is crucial with trading using the Elliott wave principle is that you must get your counts right, but most important, you must get in as early as possible on the underlying trend. The earlier the better, because the big money makes the major moves in the trend when at the early parts of it. So it is not wise to lose out on such a lucrative opportunity. I would also like to show you a way to trade the Elliott wave principle with the power of the roadmap indicator for MT4 without having to be so pedantic about the impulsive and corrective numbering sequence. So long we see the Elliott wave structure, it is fine to be traded provided that the market context is accurately interpreted. When to trade Elliott wave, as I mentioned most recently in the previous passage, one should not be overly focused on the numbering of the roadmap indicator for MT4 because it can be misleading at times. Our key focus here is just to identify the classic structural formation of the Elliott wave pattern. The roadmap indicator for MT4 shows you the structure clearly, so do not be caught up by the numbering too much. The picture below will illustrate that for you very well. The green and red horizontal line signals to us that a new Elliott wave sequence has begun. So the green horizontal line marks the beginning of a bullish Elliott wave sequence and the red horizontal lines marks the inception of a new bearish Elliott wave. The Elliott waves are smartly depicted by the roadmap indicator for MT4, and most of the time when I trade the Elliott wave, I trade it on the 4-hour, 1-hour and 15-minute time frames. The motive behind me using these time frames is because it allows me to easily track the movement of the big banks. For intraday trading, I tend to rely mostly on the price action shown in the 15-minute time frame. Hence why I elected to capture a screenshot of the oddest trading pair from the 15-minute chart. What is also fantastic about the roadmap indicator